Good morning, everybody. What's good? Happy Wednesday. Is it hot where y'all are? Because on the East Coast, we are dealing with a heat wave. And I tell you, please hear me out. Stay cool, stay safe, stay inside if you can. But happy Wednesday. Welcome to Thoughts of a Maven. I am Dion Watts Williams, your brand messaging maven. What that means is I help my clients who are absolutely brilliant own their brilliance and then make their brilliance visible in the marketplace. Okay. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. We talk about all things personal branding, brand positioning, LinkedIn, and mindset. Okay. So come on in. We're going to talk about 7 reasons why you don't need to be ready, right? This whole idea of doing something once you've got it all together, all your ducks in the row, once you feel up to it, is a myth. So we are going to talk about this, but we are streaming on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And if you're catching this on the replay, make sure you use hashtag replay and say hello down below. Let me know if you have any questions and which one of these really resonates with you the most. Okay. Listen, there's this quiet lie that a lot of us ambitious women often believe, right? I just need to get more ready. Then I'll launch the business. I'll pitch the idea. I'll update my resume. I'll raise my rates. I'll speak up. I'll show up on LinkedIn. But what if I told you that ready is just perfectionism dressed in productivity clothes? We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that, right? I have been doing this for 18 years, working with brilliant Black women who are executives, who are in the C suite, they're entrepreneurs, they're creatives, who are walking around with billion-dollar ideas and top tier talent, but they still hesitate to own their voice and show up fully in their brand. Okay, so we're going to talk about why this idea of being 100% ready is a myth and why you really just need to be 100% honest. Okay. But this is the truth. Okay. And here is why we're going to talk about it. And before I forget, let me remind you all that enrollment is open. If you are really ready to own your brilliance, if you have realized that perfectionism is a myth, you can still get in the Brand Brilliance Intensive. This is my self paced personal branding course, right? Where I'm giving you all the tools, tips, strategies, and support that you need to develop a clear vision for your career, for your business, how to define your unique value proposition, how to communicate it with ease and confidence, and how to really cultivate a brand that makes sense, right? Based on your personality, your values, and your style. Okay. So make sure you head on over to workwithdion.com because enrollment is open for that. And for this summer only, if you enroll in the intensive, which is 100% self paced, it is forever access, but I'm also going to give you 3 months of real time group coaching to help you really work through all of the things that you're learning in the program. Okay. That's at no additional cost. So make sure you head on over to workwithdion.com. Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining the live stream. We're talking about this idea that you somehow need to be 100% ready in order to do a thing, right? Maybe you want to pitch an idea. Maybe you're an entrepreneur who wants to raise your rates. Maybe you want to raise your hand and speak up at the job, right? Maybe you have so many ideas that you're sitting on, but you're using this idea of being perfect or being the perfect time as an excuse. Okay. So we're going to talk about 7 reasons why you do not need to be 100% ready. Okay. The first reason is because ready is a moving target, right? The fact is, if you wait until you're fully prepared, polished, perfect, you are going to wait forever, right? There will always be another credential, another tweak, another thing to fix before you feel worthy enough to do the thing, right? And hear me clearly, that is not strategy, that's avoidance. You are psyching yourself out. If you and especially some of you have been waiting for years to do a thing, okay? It is not about being ready. It is about taking imperfect action, right? And so if you're waiting to have everything perfect and polished, you can't improve on a thing. You can't tighten it up or tweak it unless you just begin to implement. Okay? So I want you guys to get out of your heads and start to implement. Number 2, clarity doesn't come before action, it comes through action, right? And so most of the clients that I work with, right, they didn't have perfect clarity when they decided to work with me. They didn't have perfect clarity when they joined my program, right? What they had was a tug in their spirit and on their hearts, right? And a decision to follow that. So clarity showed up once they started moving, not before. Okay. Number 3, just know that you are already equipped. You already got what it takes. You're just underexposed, right? So you have the results, you have a significant history, experience, accomplishments, you have the receipts and the reputation. But if your brand and your message don't reflect that, how will the people know that you exist, right? How will the people who need you ever find you? And this isn't about becoming the expert because you're already the expert. It's about owning that you already are. Okay, so stop leaning on, like, I need another credential, I need a little more. No, 9 times out of 10, and I've been doing this for 18 years, guys. Almost 2 decades I've been doing this. And most of my clients didn't have to go back to school, right? They might need a certification depending on their industry or their particular situation. But most of us are leaning so much on education and not owning what we already have. Okay, guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about 7 reasons why you don't need to be 100% ready, right? That is such a myth, okay? So number 1 is that ready is a moving target. Number 2, clarity comes through action. And number 3, you are already equipped, just underexposed, okay? Number 4, perfectionism, although we tend to rely on that a lot, it actually keeps you hidden, right? Honesty is what brings you forward, right? And when you are being honest and saying, like, you know what, I have what it takes. I don't need to have everything to be perfect. Honesty means saying, I am tired of shrinking. I know I'm playing small. I'm scared, but I'm ready to try something different. That kind of honesty will move mountains. And so when you see your competitors, right, moving up the corporate ladder or growing their business or getting all the opportunities, it's because they decided to just be honest and say, like, you know what? Perfectionism is a myth. This doesn't exist. I'm tired of playing small. I'm going to raise my hand, put my hat in the ring. And now they're making all the moves and getting all the opportunities, right? And so, yes, that kind of honesty, it moves mountains, but more importantly, it can move you. That is what this is about. It is about having a heart to heart, a come to Jesus meeting with yourself. Okay. Number 5, just know that you can figure it out while you show up, right? Waiting to have it all figured out is a trap. It's a trap. This is what I challenge you to do, right? To think of how it would be if you showed up with what you do know and let the rest unfold along the way. How would that feel like? And I get it because a lot of us are afraid of failure. A lot of us are fearful of success, fearful of judgment. But, like, what if you just showed up with what you got? Let it unfold along the way. And what you'll find though is that all of those what ifs in the back of your head, those were just those mindset gremlins, okay? Just know that the most successful women that you admire were building the plane while flying it too, honey. And I get it because I am a planner. I am a recovering perfectionist, right? This whole idea of, like, I've got to have plan A, B, and C mapped out. Once you accept that there are some things in life that we can control, and you focus on the things that are within your control, Letting go and being okay with going along with the flow and the journey actually becomes very freeing, right? It's a beautiful feeling, okay? Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. If you're just joining us, we are talking about 7 reasons why you don't need to be 100% ready, okay? And if you're catching this on the live stream, come on in and ask your questions down below, and I'll be sure to answer them. If you are catching this on the replay, use hashtag replay with your question or your comment. Number 6, one day is costing you so much more than you think, right? Every time you delay that pivot that you want to take, when you delay that launch, when you delay that call to action, you're not just waiting, right? You are losing time, you are losing opportunities, income, alignment. You're losing out on a whole community of people, right, who really need what you have to offer. But most importantly, you are losing confidence. One day, and I'm going to say this to you, there's no such thing as one day, right? You get to decide that, like, today's the day I'm going to do the thing and throw caution to the wind. Okay. And then there's number 7, and that is that the right support changes everything. I remember being in business for a few years, maybe like, say, almost 11 years in business. I was making, an okay, it was a nice supplemental income, right? I'm still working full time, doing that part time, but I got tired of trying to figure it out on my own because what happened was I was trying to be my accountant, I was trying to be my social media manager, I was trying to be my own business coach, right? Because I'm taking things from here and there that I see on the internet, right? And free information is beautiful, but what I found was that I had to raise my hand and go to someone and say, "I need help." And a lot of us, we are used to pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps, but what's wrong with community? What's wrong with saying, you know what? I need a coach, I need a mentor, I need a community of people who are going to support me and help me get my career or my business to the next level. And that's why I created the Brand Brilliance Intensive, right? It was initially a 4-week cohort based program, but I've turned it into a course, right? Where you can come and understand that it's not about doing more. It's not, right? It is about showing up differently, right? You show up differently when you have a brand that reflects your brilliance, right? Like you get it, right? Imagine having messaging that positions you with power. And how about confidence that when you walk into rooms, like you belong there because you do, like people take notice, right? And all of those things, unfortunately, our education system has just told us to rely on education, right? Get the degree, get the good job with benefits, and everything else is going to fall in place. But no one teaches us how to be confident, how to talk about ourselves with ease and with confidence and with strength, right? And to just own all of who we are. No one teaches us how to do that when it comes to our professions. And that's why I created the intensive. Okay. And so if you're ready to stop waiting on ready, right? If you've been sitting on an idea, if you've been sitting on maybe a pivot, okay, maybe your brand is half built and half hidden, right? Like you kind of been doing the thing, but it's not really going anywhere. And that's how I knew I needed help in my business. I felt like I was running in place. I was making some progress, but it was really, really slow. And I'm like, wow, imagine if I had reached out to get some help earlier, right? That learning curve would have been so much shorter, right? And I also realized that there was only but so much progress that I can make on my own. So I want to invite you to join me for the Brand Brilliance Intensive. You don't need more proof. I was going to say brilliant. You don't need more proof that you're brilliant, right? You need a plan to show it, right? Strategically, visibly, and without apology. So if you're ready to get to work, I want you to go on over to workwithdion.com/intensive because listen, you have two choices. You can stay stuck or you can get the help, the professional help that you need to achieve your business or career goals, right? And this intensive is not just some course where I'm throwing modules and information at you, right? There are pre recorded modules, there are examples, there are downloadable tools and resources, but this has been custom curated to help you tap into your full self, your full brilliance, and really stand out in the crowded marketplace. Okay. So if you're tired of blending in, being overlooked, and you want to take your brand to the next level and really attract the right opportunities for your career, the right business clients, maybe you're looking to collaborate and build partnerships. You have come to the right place. Go on over to workwithdion.com. And as I mentioned earlier, if you enroll this summer, you'll not just get the forever access to the course, right? Because listen, life is lifing. We're all busy. We all have many different things going on. I know what it's like to be a wife, a mom, a caregiver, to be involved in the community. So you can totally learn at your own pace and fit it into your busy schedule. But when you enroll this summer, you're going to get 3 months at no additional cost of live group coaching. So you can come and ask questions or get feedback about what you're doing in the program. You can also get real-time coaching if you're dealing with like a real life situation outside of the program as it pertains to your brand, an interview, you know, business opportunities. We are going to turn this into the most awesome. This is the most community support that you this is the support that you'll need as you are growing your brand. Okay. So make sure you're going over to workwithdion.com because again, you are already brilliant. You don't need another credential. You just need the right support to bring your brand to where it needs to be. But I hope this was really helpful. And of course, if you have questions, make sure to ask questions down below. Make sure you share this with another brilliant Black woman. Make sure you tag 3 brilliant Black women in the comments below because I want you guys to win. It is time to win in 2025. But I will see you next week for Thoughts of a Maven and keep shining.